Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So we're going to talk about the devaluation stage. And this is an analogy that'll kind of help understand what went wrong during this devaluation stage. Why does it happen? So I did a professional development today, and I'm going to do a video on the different personality types. Comment below if you want me to share the test with you so you can test yourself, test your partner, family, whoever you want to test. And there's 4 different traits, and it's very interesting. It shows the way that we interact effectively, the things that we need. And narcissists, they have their needs too. So the communication styles, it's going to be a great video. Personality types, I'll make that tomorrow. I have to go out of town for post-death type thing. So the devaluation stage, what happens is things are going along and needs are being met. The needs get larger, just like when you move into a house. The house is clean. Let's say it's sparkling clean. Everything's perfect. Everything has its place. You just move in. Everything is set up perfect. You're happy. You're content. Everything is comfortable and safe. And then throughout, this is an analogy, throughout daily life, maybe you forgot to put a fork away. So there's a fork on the counter. Dust is starting to settle. The rust residue, whatever is going to start changing the environment over time. The things that we go through change our environment in our relationship, whether you forgot to pick them up or they forgot to pick you up. That's a little bit of dust that's settling. It's changing the environment. So throughout the communication styles, if as an analogy, we could, is it, could you pick that up? You're right by the fork. And they can say no, and we can go, okay, well, it is my job. I should go do it. But it gets confusing during who hurt who. And over time, we don't know who's responsible, because the narcissist turns it back on us to where we're the one cleaning up. So now we're cleaning up the relationship. So we start feeling like I'm cleaning up the fork. I can't remember if I'm the one that left it. Doesn't matter. I'll do it. Cleaning up the dust. Both of us contributed, but I'm the one cleaning it up. In our relationship, we're cleaning up the relationship, trying to understand it, trying to fix it, trying to change it back to like when we just moved into our relationship. So we're starting to clean house to make it beautiful again. And this is an analogy, cleaning up our relationship. But as you're cleaning, you're noticing, oh, there's a spot right there. There's this. And then once you start, I just found 6 spots. Like, where's this coming from? And then, oh, and now there's this that I have to take care of. Now I got to wash the washcloth. So you go down to the laundry room and you're like, man, there's dust down here too. And you're in this cleaning mode. So you're going to clean up that. The trash needs to be taken up. So you see the lint and you're like, do I clean out the lint dryer? And then it's just, we're the ones putting this effort in. And as you're going through, you are noticing everything that's wrong, everything that's changing. But the narcissist, if you just cleaned 90% of your house, 90% of your relationship, whether, we're cooking better, we're working on our intelligence, our bodies, our demeanor, all these things, we're focused on it and we see what's wrong. The narcissists, we're like, can you help me fix this relationship to get back to move-in day? We'll put it that way. And the narcissist looks around and says, it's 90% great, but we're exhausted. And we're like, I can't keep this up. It's a 2-person deal. It's a relationship is 2 people investing. And when the narcissist looks around in our relationship, in this analogy house thing, they see everything is pretty good. So what are we bitching about? And we're like, I'm exhausted and I want some help in this relationship and I want some reciprocity. And it feels good to me. We can achieve this. I did 90%. I just want 10 more percent. And that's when we're devaluing ourselves, that we're willing to accept 10%. or 15, 20. And so the narcissist sees us like, you are able to do this. You've been doing it. And it kind of converts in their mind like it's our job. But then it starts getting irritating to them, almost as if you're like, can you lift your legs up so I can vacuum underneath? We're doing what we're supposed to do. That's us asking the narcissist to do something towards the relationship. Minute, lift your legs, I'll vacuum under it. They're starting to get irritated because they're like, I was relaxing and you're asking me to do something minute. Whether we're like, look, could you just, I just brought in all the groceries. Would you mind just putting the ice cream in the fridge while I finish closing up the car? And they're irritated and just not helping when they're available to help. But this personality trait thing talks about the communication, and it's important that you I feel that you should watch it. But they look around, everything seems perfect, and then they take it for granted. It's a transition that happens, almost like they see that we're capable of doing it. And, you know, just like let's say you had a new baby and you're like, I'm exhausted. And they see what we've been able to do, that we're, and whether some women are narcissistic, so whether the father takes over or it's the mother, we're like, I've done this, and the narcissist will be like, you've been doing this forever, or fine, I'll give you 20-minute break, and we're like, I need a day off, or I need this, and it's two-sided, and they start taking it for granted, but they don't see what we see, because they look around and everything is in place for the most part, and they devalue it because they don't see the little things. They don't know how much cleaning was done. They think that we just took a fork, put it in the dishwasher, and maybe dusted a little in our relationship. They're like, what you did? Like, how much more are you really doing than I am? Because they don't see all the little things, because they didn't look at it through a microscope. And when you're dealing with a narcissist, with the confusion and you start having a fear of abandonment because you feel that they're leaving you. And this is going to go to your personality style. And that's why I really want you to watch the other video. I want to get into it in depth. And unfortunately, I don't have enough time today. So there's this connection. The way we need to feel loved, the way people shut down, it's a bad match. And it can be transitioned if people really understood each other's desires. So these are personality traits that can apply to anybody, but it's called red. I'm yellow, white and blue. You'll see how things, the red is pretty interesting. It's more narcissistic in my opinion, but narcissists don't have the empathy. So I would group them into this red, add on lack of empathy or the manipulation. That's where it's going to get really toxic, not just not functioning at its optimum. It's toxic, but they just don't see during this devaluation stage. So we're investing more and more and more. The more we invest, the more they're like, what's going on? It's 98% clean in our relationship. They're not understanding what we mean by I need help, because all they saw was a fork and maybe a little dust in the relationship. I hope you're understanding my analogy, to where they're like, what is the big deal? Now they're like, you're too sensitive. Our relationship, our house analogy is not that messed up. And then we're nagging, we're bitching, we're probably going to ask them to do something, so they start avoiding us. And we feel like we've just cleaned house in our relationship analogy. And we're starting to feel unappreciated, not heard, because they can't connect with, we have done so much. We just, want you to fill our cup of love too. We're pouring out our love, our energy, our time, our thoughts, that we start wanting to, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but we see all the things that are going wrong and we want to clean them up, but we're so tired. And it's giving us a mental exhaustion. And as we're being taken for granted, we have to lower our self-esteem to where we're like, yeah, I know it seems pretty good, but it's draining me because I'm the one putting in effort and I'm not getting appreciation back. I'm not getting respect back because they don't see what we've done in the relationship. They see that fork and they can't communicate the right way because their perception is different. Also, the lack of empathy, they can't see it because they can't perceive it. There's a lack of connection with their neurons and their neurotransmitters. We'll get into more brain stuff. I have stuff on brain damage that is with the narcissist, also the brain damage that has been caused to us, CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and it changes our perception, whether it's the different personality traits. Because I had a coworker next to me, and what was my other color? Blue, no, white. She's white with blue as her second. And somebody's at my door. I think it's a girl selling candy. You guys saved me $2. But I asked her if she said that she's shy. She's always been shy. Sorry, that threw me off. And I asked about her trauma, that it affected her self-conscious, I think is the one that we pulled out that stimulated that question. And I said, was it, from your childhood? Or she said, well, it was from my adulthood. And because my CPTSD is from adulthood. And I discussed with her, I'm a burn victim. When I was 5 years old, the barbecue exploded and I was in the hospital. So I'm like, I remember walking up to the barbecue. All of a sudden, I'm waiting for the ambulance. And there's a lapse of time I don't remember. To me, it does not seem traumatic. I mean, granted, I have burns and whatever. There's a couple things. Burnt 55% of my body in the hospital for like 6 months. And it wasn't traumatic to me, I think. Because did I shut it down? I shut down between the burn and the ambulance. But when I was in the hospital, away from my family, even though they were visiting all the time, I don't know if they spent the night. I don't know if they were there quite a bit. I think that they did leave a little bit. So I don't know if I have a fear of abandonment because of that, and that's changed. Also, when I went through the breakups, I think it was the breakups. Is it really a fear of abandonment? Because you feel coming away from the relationship, but also we have to remember how somebody in the red sees things, or how people shut down in the different groupings, that it stimulates. If I did have a fear of abandonment, I'm not sure if I did. My parents stayed married. Today, my father's passed, but today's their 55 wedding anniversary. They would have been married. But is the abandonment unknown? And when I saw my ex kind of pulling away or shutting down, narcissists give the silent treatment. And sometimes healthy people need a break too. Usually you should communicate it a little better, but it scares you. And did that increase the abandonment? It's all these different little things to where they're going to shut down. The more they shut down, the more the way I need to feel loved is gone. So it's me And I don't know if I technically did, because I felt they were going. So it comes from somewhere. But so with the different personality traits, I don't know who starts it, but I don't, let's say, they're not listening to me. So whoever's at fault. Okay. So I'm not communicating in the right way, or they're not listening, whatever, or comprehending. And that's with the way that people process things because of their childhood. So I'm feeling you're not talking to me. You feel that I'm badgering you. And the more I'm hurt, the more I'm going to talk, the more I'm going to be like, please just listen, or this is what I'm trying to say. And it's not connecting. So now that it's not connecting, they're going to shut down, or they feel attacked when we're like, I'm not attacking you. I'm just telling you, I'm so tired trying to do everything myself. Please, I just need a hug. I just need this, or I just, just sit with me, or whatever it is. Or just don't yell at me as you leave. Just say goodbye, be kind. The purpose of this video, they don't see the cleaning of the relationship. They see it back to good enough, and they don't see the minuscule things. And if they saw those minuscule things, you'd be up 100% if they were willing to do their part. But they lose sight of it. This is the best way to put it. They lose sight of what's wrong because we have done it all for them. We've told them what's wrong so they don't have to sit and think about it, because we sat and thought about it. We went through with a fine-tooth comb to see everything that needed to be fixed. And it started that separation because of the styles. If a narcissist had the empathy, they could relate, like, oh, she just needed a hug. Like, that'd be such a jerk and not give her a hug. I'm right in front of her face. Like, oh, okay. But then we're hurt. They never hug me, or they used to. And it's with the new supply, just like it was with you and it was with their other exes. It just takes time. And that separation comes because once you're down here, when you've put in 90%, you feel devalued, where you're like, what is wrong with I am settling for 10%. They're like, but I love them and I've invested in them and we really do love them. I disagree with many YouTubers where they're like, you fell in love with yourself. In a sense, it makes sense what they're trying to say, but because they talk about the mirroring, or the mask. We fell in love with the image of them, the house, without seeing the wear and tear on it. But if we were willing to put that much work into it, I don't know. The mirroring thing is really interesting. So I'm not sure I worded that correctly, and I'll be honest with that. But that's where the devaluation stage just starts tearing things apart. So I'm going to let you guys go. I need to go out of town, and thanks for saving me $2 and 200 calories. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.